Welcome everyone to this explainer. Let's be real for a second. Moving is a huge hassle, and dealing with incorrect documentation right after you finally unpacked is incredibly frustrating. It feels like a massive waste of time, especially if you think it means standing in one of those notoriously unpredictable DMV lines. But thankfully, it doesn't have to be that way. Today, we're diving into a completely streamlined, conflict-free way to update your Nebraska driver's license address online, literally right from your couch. Here's a quick roadmap for our explainer today. We'll cover the strict legal deadlines, check if you're actually eligible for the online portal, gather up your documents and fees, walk through the exact digital process, and finally, look at the processing timelines before going over an official disclaimer. All right, let's jump straight into Section 1, the 60-day legal deadline. Let's look at why you really shouldn't put this off. So, did you recently move? If you just finished packing boxes, wrestling with a moving truck, and finally changing your residence, I know the DMV is probably the absolute last thing on your mind. But Nebraska actually makes maintaining accurate address records a pressing legal matter. It's not just a friendly suggestion, it's a strict mandate. And the clock is officially ticking. Current Nebraskans have exactly 60 days to notify the DMV and update their address after a move. That number right there is your legal compliance window. Past that 60-day mark, and your credential is out of compliance with state regulations. Now, if you just cross the border to make Nebraska your brand new home, the window is even tighter. State law gives you a mere 30 days to get your credentials in order, unless you happen to be a student. So you really have to move fast on that one. You might be wondering, why is the state so intense about these deadlines? Well, maintaining an accurate database is absolutely critical for public safety. It ensures law enforcement databases are perfectly synchronized, so officers have correct, real-time information. And it guarantees proper state tax district allocation. Basically, your address dictates a lot of local administrative boundaries, so the state literally needs it to be completely accurate. Okay, let's move into Section 2. Are you eligible online? Because before we look at the actual steps, we need to know who is allowed through the programmatic gatekeeping of the Nebraska.gov portal. So who gets the green light here? You can use the portal if you hold a standard Class O car license, a Class M motorcycle license, or a standard state ID card. But that's provided your name remains exactly the same and you are a U.S. citizen. You're going to hit a roadblock, however, if you hold a commercial driver's license or a learner's permit, if you need to change your name, if you hold both a state ID and a driver's license at the same time, or if you're a non-U.S. citizen. To briefly explain that specific exclusion for non-citizens, it comes down to a federal requirement called the SAVE system. This federal mandate requires physical, manual verification of immigration documents. And because those security checks can take up to 20 federal business days to process, the state requires these specific updates to happen in person, just to prevent fraud. All right, Section 3, required documents and fees. Now that we've cleared up exactly who can use the system, let's look at what you need to have prepared before you even sit down at your computer. If the online system requests it, or if you do end up having to go in person, state statute requires you to provide 2 forms of address proof to verify your new residence. Fortunately, these are pretty easy to grab. Some acceptable examples include a bank statement issued within the last 90 days, a valid rental agreement, or even a pre-printed blank check. Just make sure your new address is clearly printed on both documents. As for the cost, changing your address means the state has to issue you a brand new physical replacement card. The flat statutory replacement fee for this is $13.50. Plus, when using the online system, you'll also pay a small vendor portal fee to Nebraska Interactive, which is the company that keeps all these digital solutions running smoothly. Okay, Section 4, the online update process. We are now ready to walk through the actual digital solution and see exactly how this works. Let's break this down into 4 incredibly simple steps. First, visit the official Nebraska.gov driver licensing services portal. Definitely look for that .gov to ensure you're on a secure site. Second, verify your identity using your current license number or your social security number. Third, carefully input your new resident and mailing addresses. And finally, step 4, submit your payment securely. It is truly that streamlined. Moving to Section 5, processing timelines and expectations. Once you click submit and your payment goes through, what happens next? This timeline right here is your best friend. On day 1, immediately after payment, you get a 30-day temporary receipt. Print this out right away. It's your legal proof of driving privileges. By day 14, meaning 14 business days, you can expect your brand new physical card to show up in your mailbox.
And if it hits day 20 and your mailbox is still empty, the state instructs you to proactively call driver licensing services directly for an immediate update. Finally, Section 6. Before we wrap up this explainer, we do need to cover a brief professional disclaimer regarding state procedures. Please remember that while this explainer is a comprehensive guide derived from official state documents and regulatory reports, government policies and fees can occasionally shift. You should always consult the official Nebraska DMV website or contact them directly to confirm your specific situation before starting the process. I'm going to leave you with this provocative thought to check your own compliance right now. Pull out your wallet. Does the address on your license match the home you slept in last night? If it doesn't and it's been more than 60 days, well, you know exactly what to do. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this structured look at the Nebraska DMV makes your next move a little bit easier and keeps you perfectly compliant.